Check. Excuse me. Yo. How do I turn this up? Yo, 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 yo. Yo. All right. Here we go. Let me pull up my stuff. All right. Higher time frame, narrative, and bias. Let's look at... Well, let's do our top down. Well, we're about to close the month. We've got two more days after today. When's July 4th? We got is that this week? Let me check the news calendar. I've been trying to build my own news calendar and just cannot get it to work right. Is tomorrow? Are the markets closed tomorrow? What's going on? Why is there no news? Let me check this real quick. Gotta know what's going on. What the fuck is going on, dude? Major announcements. Notices. Notice board. Social posts. Alright, I'm retarded. I don't know what's going on. Alright, whatever. Anyways, yeah, nice big up month. Nothing really to note. Unless we're gonna really pull back, of course. But we'll see. So yeah, we did get a displacement here, but we never fully displaced through the highs. We never shifted up. We've sort of been failing on the higher time frame. So just gonna note that. I need to make some tabs for all the different tickers. That's the problem. But yeah, that got rebalanced. We gapped up, hit the highs multiple times. Obviously, there's a bunch of crap below. Oh, crap. Okay, wait. Oh, if we use this chart, what have we been using? We've been using the adjusted chart. All right, well, that changes things. Yeah, still didn't shift above the high, though. Oh, no, it is the same chart. If we don't adjust, we still also haven't shifted, but it does look a little bit more strong. Daily, soup those highs, lots of crap on here. Just marking out the discount. Now, funny enough, discounts below that key level we were looking for last week. Yeah, obviously we have this daily. This daily got traded into. We've got the new day opening gap in there. Just highlighted that. I know it's messy, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. On the daily, yeah, no shifting to the downside, obviously, but we are continually failing on all high time frame charts to displace higher. So bearishness is on the table, but it's not confirmed. It's sort of mixed. Intra-range, though, you know, we did shift here, though, so it makes sense how we ended up pushing higher. We did push higher, though, and sweeped very obvious liquidity, created a nice wick. We also have that logical key area right there. So all this has already been done. We already kind of know all this stuff. We're just updating it. But yeah, let's clean this up too. Now that we're on the smaller time frame. See, I was souped above this support resistance liquidity aggressively, created a divergence there, had some old support resistance liquidity there, had an old inefficiency there. Lots of alerts down here. We can get rid of this one. That was the old discount level. Yeah, and this daily has sort of already been, sort of respected, traded into. So I'm actually gonna lower it. Ooh, what the hell? Wait, what is this? Just a different gap. Okay, that's useless. Get rid of that. Is this 4 hour in play? 4 hours sort of got disrespected, but we'll kind of keep it there, right here. But yeah, I do sort of want to redraw this daily. I just don't like that where it is. And yeah, it's already been traded into. And it's more so that there's a gap here than anything. So there we go. I'll extend that there. I don't know why the color is off, but let's make sure this is the right daily BISI. There we go. That looks better. All right, 4 hour. So yeah, nothing on the downside. Still nothing even on the upside either though. Still, if you look at this, the next highs, still didn't shift, still didn't shift, still didn't shift, still didn't shift. So that's sort of the hallmark of the three drives higher. That's what the three drives higher is actually based on, is failure swings. I came up with that myself, that understanding, by the way. I'm a genius. All right, support resistance. Liquidity already hit. We got smooth lows down into here. I wouldn't expect this to just puke down into that key level. And then, funny enough, our draw on liquidity here has a really, really clean, which we can actually replace that alert with. I'd rather have the support resistance liquidity there. So yeah, that's a really nice level there. We need to make this a little bit more obvious. Is it just not bright enough? Huh. But yeah, I'll set an alert there. This is our key level that we've been really waiting for. Had that inefficiency there. So yeah, pretty choppy. So this is where you really, really need to really rely on that divergences to figure out what's really going on, plus the key levels. But yeah, I mean, you can see the support resistance liquidity level. It just traded through it. It didn't like, usually what we get is like a wick through like this. So we have, smooth highs here. We just wick through it and then, you know what I mean? We like fuck through it. It's like a get the fuck out candle sort of a thing. We never had a get the fuck out candle besides here, but we still literally generated liquidity here still. So I think this is, price is confirming my, oh crap. I don't know how I did that. That was weird. Price is literally confirming my whole thesis by generating liquidity here. I didn't even notice this. So yeah, we'll be watching that. And yeah, that's basically it for the higher time frame. I mean, if we zoom in, yeah, we got an hourly there. Yeah, we came up, made some smooth highs here. So we'll note those just so we have it on the chart. Why is smooth highs so aggressive and everything else is not? Because that's not how it works, brother. We need to change a lot of those. But yeah, we got smooth highs here. Should probably note those as well. Just because when you get zoomed in on the intraday, you kind of forget where the levels are when you're, if you're on a 1 minute, you can't even see this over here on your chart. All right, smooth lows. Oops, smooth lows. So we got smooth lows there. But we might have enough speed, we'll see, to just crack through that. I don't like that it looks like this could get hit because of the fact I am trying to get along here on crypto. But yeah, we'll see. Cool. So yeah, basically the summary for Dow Jones is just it's failing. Like it's not confirming like it's super bullish. Yeah, so just taking notes. All right. So completely rebalanced the last month's candle. What did Dow do? Oh yeah. Holy cow, a lot of crap on here, dude. Let's just go ahead and get rid of everything. Anyways, monthly completely rebalanced. We've got a big old monthly here. Man, sometimes this is just, I don't know what to use. What the heck? Wow, that's dramatically different. Hmm. This chart, what the hell? Oh, ES just hasn't never been updated. Well, shit, man. I mean, they're relatively into the same areas. It's just, that's so weird. Look how much it's pulled back up. And this one's like down into a discount. Anyways, there is a shift. So ES is much more clearly stronger on the higher time frame. Even on the weekly, it's shifted above and then continued to shift. Yes, we got a failure swing here, but it did gap there. All we did was we completely rebalanced the highs, which is just making more liquidity at the highs. Um, oh yeah, that's why I like this, is because it's more similar to the actual index charts. So I actually do like this chart better. Anyways, so yeah, we gotta update that. 3 month. Let's see, 3 months. Just out of curiosity. Cool. Nothing. So let me update all this old crap. You got the monthly shift there. So yeah, we're still maintaining a monthly shift. You know, we got higher time frames, smooth lows right into that inefficiency. So maybe we're gonna go into that. Higher time frame, smooth lows. Higher time frame, smooth lows. But yeah, continue to shift, completely rebalanced. That's just, could be bearish, could be bullish, but I mean, with the way the high's built like that, it's usually pretty bullish because it's leaving momentum for this to go back higher once we trigger the stops. All right, weekly though. So yeah, we did shift higher. We got this monthly here. There's a bunch of junk everywhere else. A lot of this is wrong simply because of the contract adjustment stuff. And a lot of this is just really old. Okay. Gosh, there's just so much stuff. Alright, that's a bit better. Yeah, nice. So, not much else to say there on the weekly. Except, yeah, there's been no shifting or anything like that. I mean, we did come up here, respect this old new week opening gap, but that's typical. Daily. So yeah, we did get a daily shift here. We failed to shift below the next low. Manufactured big pool liquidity, bounced off of that, manufactured smooth highs, smooth highs, smooth highs, smooth highs, basically. But yeah, we did disrespect this, but then still came down, which is interesting. Take out the previous swing left high and still reversed. I'd be curious to see exactly where, and funny enough, perfectly at the equilibrium of that. Interesting. I'm starting to notice this bullshit as a technical thing. If it's high enough, usually it'll just take it out. But if it's really low like this, then yeah, you can use the the midline and it's right into a premium of it. Okay. But yeah, shifts lower, daily fails, still fails. I mean, we did displace, but we didn't displace the low. So makes sense that this would be intermediate term bearishness. And on top of that, we've just failed. Any inefficiencies? This should be yellow because this is like a double. It's a gap up mixed with a gap down. Is that a relative equal high there? Yes, it is. What the hell is this? This is just an alert. You get rid of that. It's making me confused. You can mark these as relative equal highs. Relative equal highs. Yeah, shifts down. Shifts down, failure. Back down into discount order block. Let's see where we're at within the order block. I like using the wicks because just tend to work better. But yeah, I mean, you can see it is respecting it. It's using it as a generating liquidity possibly. So that supports the reversal idea. What the hell is this? Maybe an old drawing? Is this weekly correct? I'd guess not. So let's just fix this. There we go. So yeah, we did already respect this. So we're just coming back into it, you could say. 4 hour, not much else to say. Just failure swings on the downside. ES has failure swing on downside. So logical, possible bullishness since higher time frame it's actually continued to shift higher, unlike the Dow. So yeah, that's what we're seeing here. Maybe on the 1 hour we got some smooth lows. There was SMT there. We'll just leave that there. Actually, we'll put it like that. But yeah, actually we'll do both. Just make sure it's both noted. So yeah, we got smooth lows, but it was SMT, so we'll just mark it. That way we're not married to that low holding. Yeah, smooth highs all the way up. We're probably going to come up here, manufacture more highs, boom, manufacture more highs. That's how it goes. Yeah, that's basically it. You know, we are just, and then if you zoom in, you know, we're back down into the, you know, the real order block, you could say, which we're just, I don't know, yeah, we're just into it. Technically, it's right there. You can see manufactured it right there. Boom. Manipulates lower. So, yeah, not much else to say there. All right, Dow or NASDAQ, of course, super bullish. Super bullish. So yeah, nice monthly there. Monthly definitely shifting higher. What is the quarterly? Even the quarterly. All right, weekly. Weekly is also off, of course. We never updated this. Yeah, this got traded into. Maybe it wants to come down, peak below this low. Maybe. Oh, you know what? There we go. That's correct. Boom. There you go. Nice. Very clean. Let's just delete all this other junk. Just to clean it all up. All right, that's good. All right, so yeah, weekly has also shifted higher. Failure swing, very similar to ES, but even stronger. It did shift here, respected it, moved higher, boom, moved lower, disrespected the shift lower, traded up, took out trailed stops. Maybe we get one more move down, maybe. But either way, we did shift. Very, very interesting. We did shift. We did market structure shift higher. Oh, also ES did as well. I am bullish. That just confirmed me. I am bullish. I am bullish. We have completely inside NQ and ES have both internally shifted higher on the daily. Holy. Clearly bullish to me. Given the failure swings lower. Yeah, this is definitely a bullish higher time frame. Doesn't mean it could pull back a little bit more, but I would argue it's literally just reaccumulating the order block. I would actually be interested to see the daily here on. I mean, technically this is the order block, but yeah, I mean it's still sort of respecting it to a degree. And yeah, Nasdaq, of course, down into the order block as well. I would think that maybe this would be. Well, that's the problem. Is it this or is it this? You know what I mean? Or is it that? And so that's where it's can't get married to that concept. But ES has done that. It's already it's swept all that out. So okay. Nasdaq though did get a displacement, but it did not shift below the prior low, and then has also continued to fail. So 4-hour chart. Obviously, both of these have relative equal highs above. We should note that, of course. Just make it look nice and pretty. Relative equal highs. Should also have that on ES. It's not as clean, but it's obvious. Yeah, relative equal highs. Obviously, should always have an alert on that. Yeah, 4-hour, obviously, internally did shift. Still didn't shift below that low. So, even more confirmed. Shifts below this internal low, of course it goes lower. There you go. And then it shifts. There's displacement here. It rejects, of course. Does that mean we go lower? Probably, maybe. But on the higher time frame, we're bullish. That's all I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is the obvious order block, and we have totally respected that. Look at all these candle closures right on top of that. This is clear cut order block right there. Boom, look at that. Look how clean that is. Came up into the upper quadrant, respected it, created SMT there. Now we just need, it would be nice to see the Dow rotate below. But yeah, as for this stuff, we've got this old daily here. I don't know why it's green. It should be should be red. What the fuck? That's funny. But we're gonna make it yellow because there's a double standard going on here. So right there to right here. That's what I like to do. So you can see how perfectly this was traded into. Look at the perfect respect of this lower quadrant. Look at the perfect respect of the midline. Look at the perfect, I mean, I drew it right there, but look at that wick coming just to the very tip of it, right into the CE of that daily as well. So very clean stuff going on here. Very clean. Look at that. Boom. All right, on the hourly. Of course, SMT, but also smooth lows. That's what's tricky about those. That is the technicality of understanding divergence. But anyways, yeah, very clean price action here. We'll see if we get lower. I mean, we have this order block, but then we have this clear order block that is definitely, like, you could say the real low maybe. And you can see that it is respecting that. We've got this little thing here. I tend to ignore these. Usually these are actually used for trailed stops, and then they take it out and still hold the structure and bounce. So Can't trust this. I've seen this stuff a lot, and I sometimes it will bounce off of it, sometimes it doesn't. So don't really care. It's just that this is the order block. That's all I care about. So yeah, that is Dow, or I mean Nasdaq, Russell, and we're gonna do this for gold and stuff as well. All right, let me drink some more coffee. All right. Time for the Russell. Russell looking pretty bullish as well. Monthly has not shifted, but quarterly, debatable. But yeah, still no clean shift, but I mean it's weekly probably has. Oh shit, it hasn't. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. What about monthly? I never looked over this high. Still hasn't done it, dude. That's crazy. This next quarter will be very, very, very interesting. If we can, the next quarter, if we can close with a gap, that's going to be really interesting. But yeah, gap down here, no continued for sure displacement to the upside. It's all constantly rebalanced. It's all tricky. It's all fucking tricky, man. Though we did get a gap here, but didn't shift. Interesting. Very freaking interesting. Yeah, this is just tough shit on Russell. But that's how it usually goes with Russell. It's never clear cut. So we got relative equal lows down there. We have a nice little gap down here. Okay, we did get a shift here. So there's one, but that's about it. Why am I doing this? Okay, we're doing like that. Let's do a, what is this, daily? So yeah, there is sort of a gap here, and then yeah, you would actually include maybe this too, because that held. So yeah, there is sort of a rebalancing that all got happening here. But yeah, no shifts or nothing. Relative equal lows here. Wow, very interesting. 4 hour. Okay, yeah, we shifted here. Boom, pull back, manufacturer liquidity. Boom, 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 boom. No shifting, no shifting, no shifting. Similar to Dow. It's actually a little stronger than Dow, I would say. These can all, oops. These can all go. Relative equal highs got souped out already. Let's make this a little lighter just because it was just an oldie. Just an old fart to take note of. Also, I do not like this alert. It's making it all ugly. There we go. There we go. That's a bit cleaner. Lots of wicks. But yeah, failing to go lower. I mean, we did this still failed to shift lower. We displaced here, so of course we continue. Of course we continue. We do get a displacement here. Internal displacement makes a new high. Immediately takes it out. Shift just displaces lower, no shift on the higher time frame. Moves up, takes it out again and again, and then there's a bunch of junk. So the only thing you can really garner from Russell is we got relative equal highs there and a ton of smooth lows. That's basically it. A ton of smooth lows. Smooth lows. I don't like how these are different, but whatever. We'll change them later. Smooth lows, boom, and then another pool of smooth lows, boom, and then very obvious relative equal lows, which is sort of the draw if you could reject. So yeah, this is very interesting. Maybe there's some like really nice trend lines we can figure out, but this is not like none of this is clean. This is just up down. Who knows where the fuck it's gonna go? And that's where you have to understand the divergences for me. Perfect. Um, yeah, very tricky. Just tons of pools of liquidity, tons of shenanigans. Um, we got the, make sure this is actually correct. Yeah, we got the discount marked and sort of, I don't know, is this some sort of pool? Is this some sort of pool? Is none of this sort of pool? Maybe without the adjustment. Is this a pool? No, 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 no. Nope. Yep. So not much to say on Russell, honestly. I don't even know what to say. Russell, unclear. Lots of choppy pools of liquidity, though. No shifting higher. Nor lower. Yeah, so unless we get some like unless we hold this whole quarter and just continue higher, then this is going to be a very, very strong market later on. But we'll see. Nice pool of liquidity with a super clean inefficiency there. Maybe there is one on the daily. Should have marked that out. So we should have that there. We'll make it really darkly colored. Well, we gotta label it first. Make it really easy to see that. And there's an alert there already. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, the only thing you could really use is maybe wicks. So like, yeah, boom, we did respect the midline of this wick pretty nicely. So yeah, maybe you could say we would go lower. We kind of did already. We respected it, went lower, made highs, but then we were yeah. I don't really use wicks, but like I mean, there is something there. New week opening gaps though. Honestly, we should have had these marked out too, but yeah, it looks like there's one here, which is just this big gap. So, um, is there any other new week opening gaps anywhere else? Yeah, just this big gap up from last week, and then like a gap down. So we got like a gap down in here, which did hold. Yeah, we should have. I made them gray because they just color up the chart and makes it really ugly. But yeah, they are. I should have had those sort of noted a bit more clearly. There's a daily gap there. Okay, here it is. Found it. So we close up here. Why is this not highlighted though? That's what's confusing to me. We open up and then open up Sunday. Yeah. We'll make it purple. Oops. Why did it go away? So yeah, this gap sort of has been in play, you could say. But yeah, I don't really know. Let's make sure it's even right. Nope, it doesn't look right. What the heck? What the heck, dude? Why is this so wrong? close. What the heck? There we go. It is right. What the fuck? Weird. Anyways, yeah, something there. Hard to tell. So, makes sense that it was holding here. I don't know. Sort of just leave that right there. Well, yeah, I don't know what else to say here on Russell. Very tricky. Not much to say. Let's just do a quick look at the index charts, though. So, index charts, yeah, obviously stepped higher. Very clean displacement here, though. Is that not on here? I mean, it is. It is. But it did trade lower and then took it up, so it's not really valid. But, I mean, yeah. So, still a decent pool of liquidity below there. I really want to see Russell. Yeah, wow. It's like a big wedge forming. Is that on Russell? Yeah, I mean, you could say that was a soup of the wedge. Yeah, there is some sort of wedge here. Yeah, just very, very not clean on Russell. And I don't ever really need a real clean read. It's more just the dynamic with the Dow. But other things to note is dollar. Dollar has been up into this big area. We're going to see here if it's going to shift on the monthly, but on the weekly, it has shifted above this high and then traded higher already. But I wouldn't be surprised if it stabs up through here, maybe hits a premium, maybe it just hits the SIBI. But either way, it's bullish, which does mean risk off. Which means, yeah, we could pull back a little bit more. So, oh, I already know off the top of my head, we did have bull flow on Qs though. So, sorry, no, we had bull flows on Tide. So, immediately we should actually expect maybe an up move. So, nothing crazy, but yeah, Dow or dollar though. I mean, it did take out a nice big pool. Right. Oh, I guess this was it right there. So yeah, I think it's ready to maybe manufacture this high, maybe, but it's already sort of done that. Maybe we pull back and move back up again. We'll see. Or are we just going to go through it? I don't really care or no. But if you do look at the higher time frame, yeah, we have this premium level right into a monthly. So pretty obvious that it's going to probably take out that high, hit that. And I probably would expect it to pull back a little bit just because that would be insane for this to just, I mean, it could always do it, but VIX futures though. VIX futures were rising in a day, but we were pulling back, makes sense. And then we do have this massive pool of liquidity on VIX, so that is still on the watch. I do need to do gold or metals still, but I actually kind of need to go here in a minute and I'll be back. So I'll probably just make another stream. But yeah, I'm hoping crypto reverses here. I don't actually know what it's gonna do, but I'm long and hopefully I don't get stopped out. But it's not looking good. It's I don't like how deep Ethereum came. Obviously, it's totally allowed to do that. That's why my stop's at the bottom. That the bottom's the invalidation. But to create just almost perfect equal lows there, and same thing with Bitcoin, it's just not what I want to see. Um, hopefully we just accumulate here. I mean, there's so many signs that this could still be the bottom. That's exactly why I'm long. But at the same time, it's just that's a higher time frame trade. So usually these trades intraday would be like, yeah, this is like 15 minutes of working out and then it pumps. But this is days of consolidation at the lows, so it just feels way worse. So I am just gonna have to remain patient there. And then, yeah, we do have some major bullish tendencies here on metals. So I do want to do a good old boy analysis here. And I've already sort of done a little bit of it, but I just don't understand the clear dynamics though of trading the divergence. So I do need to break all this down, figure out what's going on. I at least I at least can see that there is a bullish look to this simply because of the failures. So that's not to say the bottom's in at all, but I am looking for a nice bullish reversal or just bullish trades in general. I don't really care if it reverses bullishly. I'm just looking for longs. So, however way it does that, I'm gonna try to get the long. Whatever, anytime it goes up, I'm gonna try to be in there. So we'll see how it goes. Um, we did have bear flows on metals. They weren't super strong though, but I would expect them to probably make another low. And over the weekend, oil is actually moving up now. So I think that maybe we do end up still getting that major oil play. Maybe that's what gets the dollar to move up a little bit higher. We'll see. But maybe we just move up into a premium and that's that. I have no idea. But either way, it's bouncing. I don't know what's wrong with these charts. We'll have to refresh those. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna have to come back here, finish this out. Any other things I'm looking for? This week we do have a good amount of news. We've got PMI, we've got, which is going to be a big one. We got JOLTS, we've got just a lot of earnings. I think we have a bunch of earnings. I can't remember. But then we do have non-farm payroll. So it's non-farm payroll week. This is exactly when you'd expect big moves to happen. We've already been getting some big moves. So, and it's funny the way we're at with many of these charts. It's just like, huh, interesting. Very interesting timing that we would do this all here, that these guys would be taking out lows right before that. So I am looking for some serious longs. Um, don't know how it's for sure going to set up, but I mean, this would be if you use the daily chart, we do still want to see a move below this on, on Dow, but at the same time, if Dow moves below Friday's low or last week's low, which would still be that low here, any divergences with Dow below, higher time frame lows, I would still expect bounces and then still for it to hopefully take that out, and then we get that big rotation long, hopefully on Nasdaq and ES. We'll see. But yeah, ES is back down into this inefficiency, back down into the order block. Nasdaq, also similar sort of situation. Maybe it peaks a little lower. We'll see. I don't know. But in any case, I still sort of like longs. We still have some bearish stuff maybe happening here, but at the same time, oil hasn't been big on affecting the markets really lately, which was the weird contrarian trade there that happened. So, um, yeah, cool. So I'll come back do metals, but that's it for me on the stream, and yeah.